Mic check 1, mic check 2, mic check 1, mic check 2. Okie dokie. Hey there, folks. I'm meteorologist Matt Barrentine, the Fox News Now weather area. I'm about to start a cast here and giving you all the latest coming up here with the new tropical system that we have out there now. It is Tropical Storm Dorian. Hey there, folks. Meteorologist Matt Barrentine here with you on your Saturday afternoon. I hope you've had yourself a good one, likely a busy day for many of you across the area, as is typical for a lot of Saturdays. Let me get this chair. They always put it in the wrong place. I'm moving it. All right, so let me get that out of the way so I can help you see what we're looking at. Here's Dorian. If you haven't been paying attention, like, where did this come from? Yeah, I mean, it was just an investigation earlier today. It's just sometimes when they're very small systems like this, they can wrap up very quickly and get stronger very quickly as well. So that's what's happened with Dorian today. It was just an investigation this morning, then all of a sudden it became a tropical depression. Then a few hours later, the National Hurricane Center said, hey, this thing's a tropical storm. So now we've got Dorian on the board. It's out here in the Atlantic. Let me get a little closer look in here. It doesn't look terribly impressive, and right now it just isn't. It is spinning around an area of a center, so it is a tropical system. It does have some high cloud tops in there. What's going to happen is, watch, these things tend to flare up at night. This thing flared up overnight last night. It's kind of died off during the day. Sun is setting out there now. This thing will flare back up overnight tonight, most likely. And that's what we're expecting. Whoops, it did not stop. Let me get there we go. First off, there we are. There's the coordinates. It's just a bare minimum tropical storm, Dorian there, with winds of 40 miles an hour. I'm going to put this into motion. I didn't think to put any stops on this. I'll have to do this manually. All right, so here's what we're looking at for Tuesday afternoon. I just want to show you this because it's anticipated to be a hurricane as it makes landfall there, right dead center in the Caribbean islands. These are the windward islands. These are the ones that stick out like this. These are the leeward islands. So looks like it's going to hit the northern windward islands somewhere and then cross into the Caribbean there. Now, the interesting thing about that part of the Caribbean, once it gets in there, is that generally the conditions here aren't very good for tropical systems. So you can see it enters as a 1, they keep it a 1, they keep it a 1 here as it heads toward the Dominican Republic. So basically just trying to hang on is what they look at with Dorian doing. So that's what we're looking at right there with this system. You can see it takes it up to the Dominican Republic. That's 5 days out. That's Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. So that's a long time, plenty of time to watch. And obviously, as far as we are concerned, I mean, that's still a long ways out from anything that we would be anticipating from this. Let me set some other stuff up here real quick. Gotta get my buttons all straight so we can show you some different things. All right, so I know everybody wants to ask, well, what's going to happen after that? I want you to take everything here with a grain of salt. On a Facebook Live here, I could take a little more time to go in depth with stuff I can't get to on TV. First off, I'm going to show you two models, our Cadillac models, our European and the American GFS model. Those are our Cadillac models, the ones that do the best. In years past, it's always been the Euro. It's always been the best tropical model. The GFS, though, they've done a total reworking on it this last year for tropical systems, and so far this year it's been performing very well too. So both these models are doing really good, but keep in mind, meteorologists and forecasters call models guidance. We don't call them gospel, they're guidance, okay? So this just gives us some guidance on some possibilities, especially when you look way down the line. We're going to look way down the line here, so I want you to keep that in mind. So here's where Dorian is at right now. Keep up with there. Once again, Tuesday, expected to make landfall somewhere in the Caribbean, a very small, compact storm. It is not going to be very big at all. And then it tries to work its way here across the into the Caribbean, south of Puerto Rico. That's Wednesday. I'm stopping at noon each day to kind of keep things pretty well in the same spot. So noon Wednesday, south of Puerto Rico. Then we'll stop at noon Thursday in the island of Hispaniola, Dominican Republic. Right through there. If you've ever been to Punta Cana, that's where that would be. And it's struggling at this point, which we would anticipate. Going over the islands, this area is usually fairly hostile, strong upper level winds. Just kind of struggling there for Dorian at this point. Then we go to Friday at noon. This is Dorian here, not spinning very well, kind of falling apart, but still a lot of moisture there. And then I'm going all the way to next Saturday at noon. So this is a full week out. The interesting thing is here that Dorian is, whatever's left of it is kind of struggling on this model. But another spin has popped up and is in the center of the Gulf of Mexico. It's a very weak spin, but it is showing a spin that worked its way from South Florida into the central Gulf. This is the thing I always like to point out. Once again, this is guidance. This is just one run of one model. Things can and will change, especially a week out. So this is just something we're looking at. But, you know, this is kind of expected stuff. This is getting into the height of hurricane season. There is going to be different systems out there. Just because you see a spin like that doesn't mean we're getting a tropical system. Literally could just be rain out there for us. So we're looking at Dorian here basically fall apart. So now let's look at the American model. So I'm going to take you to another run. And this is the U.S., the American model, the GFS. And I'm going to stop it at the same point. So if you're paying attention, you can really follow along here. Stopping it around Tuesday at lunchtime. There it is in the Windward Islands as a very small, compact, top-end tropical storm or low-end hurricane. Here we are Wednesday around lunchtime. And once again, it stopped right there south of Puerto Rico. So right now, the American and the European model are spot on with each other, following along pretty much exactly. Noontime on Thursday, here's where we're starting to see a little bit of divergence, but still pretty small. Instead of going into Dominican Republic at that time, it has it south of the island on Thursday at noon. So let's go to Friday at noon. Friday at noon, it had it falling apart, and this one does too. It's really not seeing much of a spin. There's rain there, but not much of a spin. And then we go to Saturday, all the way 1 week from now, and it has the remnants here over Jamaica. Now, keep in mind, the European model had it more over Cuba. This one has the remnants over Jamaica. But either way, it doesn't show it being very strong, but it still has rain. And I also want you to notice that little spin that the European model had out there in the Gulf. This one is not showing that at all. So when you're talking about a week out with these tropical models, you have to really take them with a grain of salt and keep in mind that they are guidance and things can and will change. I think the most interesting part is that they're both showing a very similar track for Dorian. They're both showing it struggling once it gets into this region from Dominican Republic over to Cuba to Jamaica, somewhere in that triangle there, really having a hard time keeping itself together. So that's what we're looking at there with Dorian. We actually got more to talk about. That's not it. This is the area you've been watching for about 3 or 4 days now. In fact, I thought this one would become Dorian, but the little one out in the Atlantic flared up quicker. This one almost certainly will become Aaron, but it probably won't do so until it gets out about here in a day or two. So by the time it gets out there, obviously it's offshore, it's moving that way, so it's not going to impact anything. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if this doesn't become Aaron at some point, E-R-I-N, the E-storm. All right, so closer to home, he said, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. We've been talking about all this other stuff. What do you mean back in the Gulf? Yes, we're in the Gulf. The thing is, you see all this storminess, but the center of where the system is at is actually on land. It's over here around Beaumont and Lake Charles. So this is just sort of getting blown off of it. So this is not, and it's going to be moving inland. So there's no chance that this develops, but it's going to be grabbing moisture from the Gulf and bringing it in our way. So this will have an impact on us, not in the sense that we're going to get any sort of, tropical system with a name or a number even, but we'll get tropical moisture. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go, you can see it over here around South Louisiana. Tomorrow at lunchtime, it's still kind of over off to our west tomorrow. So tomorrow, we're going to have some scattered showers and storms. It may enhance them a little bit, 50% chance maybe out there for us. on our Sunday. So that's what we're looking at for tomorrow. Not looking at major rain chances there, but watch what happens as we go into Monday. Here comes a big plume of moisture. This is getting drawn in off the Gulf of Mexico, and it's likely getting the kids to school. It could be seeing rain. And then throughout the day on Monday, we could get some pretty heavy rain, especially west of 65. Now, the further east you live, the less rain you'll get out of all this. But it could be pretty wet at times here on Monday. Monday, we're going to get some pretty good downpours here across the area. These will be sort of the tropical light downpours. Probably not as much thunder and lightning, but certainly some heavy rain at times. So that's what we're looking at with that system. So, I mean, how much time we've just spent on this. There's a lot going on out in the tropics. Once again, for folks that have kind of come in late, the first off, the thing is Dorian flared up today. Like I said, I really thought this one would become the D storm, but it's taken its time developing. It's this one that managed to flare up very quickly. Overnight last night, it flared up. They gave it a name here this morning. It looks pretty weak right now, but once again, I expect this thing to flare up overnight tonight. And it looks weak because it's fairly tiny. This is going to be a very small storm, and as it works its way over towards the Caribbean. So it's going to work its way towards the Caribbean, Windward Islands somewhere making landfall, possibly as a Category 1 storm, maybe an upper-end tropical storm, and then works its way across the northeastern Caribbean, possibly impacting Puerto Rico over towards Dominican Republic. And then after that, like I showed with a couple of models, it's either going to struggle once it gets past this point. That's the best we'll be able to tell you for now. It looks like it'll struggle up in through here, which is typical because there's land there, there's mountains in Haiti and Dominican Republic and Jamaica. This end of Cuba has mountains as well. So it's going to struggle once it gets past that 5-day period into late next week. Something we'll definitely keep tracking for you, letting you know exactly what happens. I showed you a couple models that showed that it's most likely going to struggle all the way through. There's that other system that's here off of Florida. Like I said, I thought this one would get its act together a little quicker before the other one did, but the other one raced and beat it to the D name. This one will be the E storm Aaron, but it's going to be going out to sea. And then, of course, we have this, which looks daunting because obviously it's the Gulf and there's a lot of storms involved with this. But the circulation area is actually moving inland, so it's not going to develop into a name or numbered system, but it is going to develop into something that's going to bring us rain, tropical downpours. Tomorrow, it looks like most of those downpours will be west of our area from Baton Rouge on west. So tomorrow, not looking at much in the way of just typical scattered storms tomorrow on your Sunday. Monday, though, we could be getting some very heavy rain. The modeling showing some heavy downpours coming in on Monday. So just be aware of that. Be prepared for that. Monday is likely to be fairly wet. And then most of that should be moved out by Tuesday. We sort of get back to our normal scattered storms as we go through much of next week. Let me go ahead and get you on out here to check out some of the scenery. It's a storm. It's been a few storms around today. It's not a very active day, but there have been a number of storms around out there for us this afternoon. Mainly inland, so we're doing pretty good with showers and storms today. It's just kind of gray and hazy and hot, obviously. It has been steaming hot out there. Very, very warm here for us across the area. Hope folks were watching this morning. I kind of mentioned that it'd probably be a pretty decent beach day out there, and it's looking like it. There's this scene from the hangout camera down in Orange Beach, and you got the yellow flag flying, and you got a purple flag flying. A little bit of a breeze down there. The breeze has definitely picked up a bit. But that purple flag, of course, for the jellies. Yellow flag just for your typical caution. But you can see, looks like there's plenty of folks down there on the beach enjoying. It's been a pretty decent day. A little hazy, but pretty nice out there all together here for us down at the beach. So nice day to enjoy it. Why not? Probably a lot of locals down there today. Look at that. That's the scene from our Turquoise Place camera. Surf doesn't look too bad. I always like to look at this camera because it gives the best view, sort of the overview of the surf. 300 feet up here on top of Turquoise Place, and you can see the line of the breakers there along the beach. Not too bad. So the water's looking pretty good out there today, and not as crowded. I mean, yeah, you can see people out there, but this is that beautiful time of year for the locals to be able to get down there and enjoy some nice beach weekends. Of course, next weekend will be Labor Day, so a lot of folks will be down there regardless. But looks like this weekend, probably a lot of locals will get down there and enjoy. So it's looking pretty good out there for us at the beach. For everybody that's joined this afternoon, I do appreciate it once again. We're watching a bunch of things in the tropics. Nothing that's going to have any immediate impact on us except for that rain to the west of us that'll be coming in on Monday. It won't be a name system or a tropical system or anything like that, but it will be bringing us some pretty good rains on Monday. So a lot to watch out for out there. A lot to watch out for. But once again, no immediate threats for us here across the area. Today, like I said, the activity fairly limited, just a few small scattered showers and storms. So a good chance you can go through the rest of your evening probably not dealing with much in the way of rain. So hope you enjoy your Saturday night. We'll be on tonight. Looks like we're on time. There's no football or anything like that tonight. That's going to change soon. We're going to have the games back soon. I know everybody's happy about that. I certainly am, of course. Getting football season kicked back off. So tonight, no games for us here on Fox. So tune in at 9. I'll have a full update for you on the tropics, letting you know exactly what's happening out there. Of course, I'll keep an update on the forecast for your Sunday and Monday. It looks like Monday is going to be the wet day here coming up over the next several with some heavy rain moving in. And then I will have more details tomorrow morning as well. If you're not staying up with us tonight, understood. 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. We will be on here on Fox 10 News, so I can catch you then as well. I hope everybody's had themselves a great day, a great Saturday. We will be catching you later. Once again, to everybody that joined, do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Clyde. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Kim. Thank everybody here that has joined this morning, or this afternoon, I say this morning. Get a little confused in my time of day. Have yourselves a great one. Take care.